I have seen the brand new Ghostbusters movie. This is the movie that has been a big point of controversy out there in internet land. Lots of haters about the idea of casting women in the lead roles as our new Ghostbusters. It's written and directed by Paul Feig, who I am a huge fan of. I love his movies, particularly Bridesmaids, but I also really dug Spy, which I think is a criminally underappreciated gem. Both of those movies starred Melissa McCarthy. Of course, she is front and center in the new Ghostbusters, as is Kristen Wiig, and we also have Kate McKinnon from Saturday Night Live and Leslie Jones from Saturday Night Live. They make up our four main protagonists, and they are joined by Chris Hemsworth, who is kind of showboating and showing off some of his comedy skills in this movie. I gotta tell you that I was half sort of dreading this film because I wasn't a big fan of the trailers. The second one was much better than the first trailer, but I was kind of worried that the cart was being put in front of the horse here, that there was so much Hollywood machine in motion to try to make this a huge, profitable blockbuster franchise again. Instead of thinking and focusing on just building a brand new Ghostbusters for us, a singular story that had, some comedy highs, that was going to kind of not erase our memories, but make us, feel like we are in a brand new kind of era for this franchise and make this feel like a fresh experience. And unfortunately, Paul Feig just didn't have the tools to be able to overcome all of that, very apparent greed that's all sort of on screen, and you can feel it behind the scenes kind of crushing in on the story here. It's just overstuffed with all kinds of ideas. I mean, one of the major issues that I have with this movie is that it escalates way too rapidly. We've got a huge chunk of ghosts that these brand new Ghostbusters have to contend with, and there's no setup, there's no backstory. And one of the great things that the first Ghostbusters kind of did was, illuminate some of the details on specific ghost characters and really dive into some of the background, so that when they were connected through, the Keymaster and the Gatekeeper, you got a sense of their size and their scale. And this one, it feels like they created a pizza of ghosts, and they just sprinkled and smeared stuff all over the place. And it takes any kind of danger, it takes any kind of scariness about it. There's this sort of implied acceptance all the way throughout this movie that we already get this. We've already been here. We know this stuff. We don't have to explain anything. We don't have to give you any new stuff. We just have to kind of hit the touch points of things that you're familiar with. And you're going to think that this is enough of a version of a Ghostbusters movie that you're going to be along for the ride and have a good time. And that's just not good storytelling. It's not great script writing. I would have preferred that they focus on a little bit more character stuff with each of the four protagonists. Let us get to know them a little bit more. I think that there's not enough diversity, honestly. It's such a funny word to be pulling here, but there's not enough diversity in the characterizations between our four protagonists. I feel like there's a lot of overlap in the kinds of people that they are, and that was another incredible thing about the original Ghostbusters, is how different each of the different Ghostbusters was from each other, and how much they kind of complemented each other to become a team and work in a singular way. And we don't really get that. There's a lot of overlap between Kristen Wiig's character and Melissa McCarthy's character. I like Kate McKinnon's sort of attempt to create all kinds of crazy new proton packs and weaponry for the Ghostbusters. Those are some of my favorite scenes in the movie, honestly, when everybody's got the new tools and the new kit and they're able to do all kinds of cool things with it, grenades and handguns and stuff like that. They're obviously having fun. I will say that when you look at the veterans of Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy, who by this point have both headlined lots and lots of movies, they seem a lot more comfortable on screen and in the characters' skins than either Kate McKinnon or Leslie Jones, who both look like they're trying a little bit too hard to impress everybody, and they're having a little too much fun, and it gets a little tiresome. I think the biggest sort of crime of this movie is not that it was made, or not that it was, trying to go off in a different tangent or a direction. It's just that it comes out kind of limp. It's just not very funny. It's just not very scary. It's not very biting. I think one of the main missing ingredients of the flick is that sort of Bill Murray skepticism angle, the guy that kind of represents the audience for us. And we don't really have that. All of these Ghostbusters are so eager to believe that all of these ghosts are coming and that they've got to step up and rescue everybody. There's no kind of sort of sardonic quality there. No Han Solo, no, sort of I mean, it's Bill Murray, right? And even though Bill Murray has a cameo in this thing, it's kind of squandered, as is the Dan Aykroyd cameo. Honestly, all of the old cast members in cameo roles in this movie are a letdown, which is heartbreaking. You know, the biggest heartbreak for me is that I love Paul Feig, and I wish that he had been given carte blanche to make the exact movie that he wanted to make, and I feel like he probably didn't have that opportunity. I feel like all of the money that needed to be made from this thing was squishing him in from all angles. You know, one of the grossest things that we see in this movie is that the Ghostbusters logo, and I'm spoiling something here a little bit, the Ghostbusters logo ghost actually comes to life, and the Ghostbusters have to fight this logo. There's a lot of attention paid on the logo, and I just think that that's crazy. That just seems like a marketing move, because the original Ghostbusters, of course, everything was just an afterthought, and it looked like everything was band-aided together, and you know, they just sort of made it up as they went along. And this one doesn't feel that way. It feels very laborious and very, very sort of targeted and focus tested and you know, position. And I recognize that there are some creative risks here. Just the fact that they put all 4 of these females in the leads is a big deal, and I think that that's a wonderful move. And I do think that you should see this movie. I just have to tell you my honest opinion. I wasn't that entertained. I wasn't laughing out loud. I had a few chuckles throughout this thing. Chris Hemsworth was actually having a good time in this movie. Everybody's having a good time in this movie. I don't think the audience has that great of a time in this movie, though, which is unfortunate. I'm going to give the new Ghostbusters a 5 out of 10. Hey, thanks for checking out that video on our EPN channel. It's just one small part of the things that we make around here. So if you liked it, don't forget to check out some of our other vids and hit that subscribe button.